So welcome everyone to game number 1. Let's enable audio. He's playing on the left hand side towards the north. Dark's gonna be playing towards the southeast. We're gonna have him in the blue color. This is something we are doing to make sure that the game is actually readable. For civilization, it's gonna be Bengalis for Dark and Turks for Nili. So we talked a little bit about the civs before. Turks specifically, they thrive on aggression. They do have a very strong late game as well. Oh, if left undisputed. I think this might be a little bit too loud. Let me know. Let me know if capture it's too loud. I think we're probably going to do this really quickly. 50% or so. Should be good. But anyway, that's, yeah, not something I'm sure he would want to do against the Bengalis over here, who are going to have a very strong late game themselves. There's not an interaction between these civilizations that I have seen before, so I'm pretty curious as to how this one plays out. If anybody's got any experience, do let me know. But I would be expecting Turks to try and go aggressive, because that's going to be the safer bet. If you're going late game where the Bengalis are also strong, that's not quite as good for you. But of course we are kind of some ways off from that. So let's take a look at the map generation for both these players. Oh god. Palisade. Starting with Dark. What do we get for the bull player? So he's got one goal on the right hand side of the TC. That's all good and dandy. And it's kind of close to the palisades over here. We're going to take a look in a moment to see if Nili could potentially spot this. I think he could. Then he's got one stone towards the north. There is a goal towards the southeast outside the palisades. And then there is a neutral goal towards the southeast as well, farther away too. Then we have extra stones, an extra goal on the right hand side. But Nili's coming over here, and this is what I wanted to take a look. Check the point of view of Nili. He's got not a whole lot of vision on the scout over here. And all the attack alerts that we've had so far from Dark attacking Nili's palisade is basically so that he's got the most vision he can get. So if you take a look at Dark's point of view, he's explored basically as much as he could with the vision that the scouts got in the Dark Age, and he's not really been able to spot too much of anything. So that's the difference. If you notice, Nili's map, on the other hand, he's got both the gold and the stone towards the southeast. Those are going to be both inside the palisades, and they are going to be kind of behind the TC, far away from the walls. And this is huge, because there is no way the scout's going to spot these resources, and the only way that he would see these is either by breaking through, coming in with units, or potentially chopping enough over here that he goes for like an outpost, and then he gets vision of this, right? I don't think we're gonna see that. Not right away anyway, at the very least, perhaps not while those resources are relevant. And instead, the only thing that he's gonna be able to see is the extra gold over here from Nili in the northwest, the extra stone in the northeast, and that's about it. While Nili, on the other hand, once he gets to the fuel age specifically, he should get vision of this gold. He should get vision of one tile of this stone, I think. I think the stone might actually be one tile too far away. So let's see, we have to add 2 extra tiles of vision for the scout. Let's see. Do it, Nili. Okay. He's not attacking, but it's 4 tiles. Yeah, so he's going to get vision of the gold, but he's not going to get vision of the stone once he gets to the fuel age. That's kind of tragic, because if Nili wanted to go for full aggression, then what he could potentially do is, if he wanted to drop a castle and he dropped one around this area, if he had vision of this stone, right, that'd be the best location for him to get this. Oops. There we go. To get 1, 2, all 3 resources tonight. And then Dark would have to kind of default to collect resources from here instead. Anyway, fuel age is on the way now for Dark and for Nili. Nili's taking a little bit longer though. He's going up a much stronger economy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We don't see any stone miners yet though. Huh. I think if he drops forward, he might choose this position anyway. It could be the case, but it could also be the case that he tries to drop on, you know, like directly in front of the stone over here, which wouldn't have enough range to target this one. Like, it's gotta be in the middle of all three. But yeah, he would probably go for somewhere between this stone and this goal, because that's what he's gonna have vision of, right? If he gets lucky, he could potentially range this one as well. That'd be fantastic, of course. Although I think he would probably have to place castle flush next to the walls, right? Anyway, there you go. Dark gets to the village, he gets extra vision on the scout, he goes against the gate over here just to get as much vision as he can. He's gonna be off to the castle age. Yeah. And Nili instead, seems like he's gonna go up to the castle age with a stable? A stable? And the blacksmith? Or a market? It's gotta be a... He doesn't really have the resources to go for both. No, it's gotta be... Okay, there we go. Yeah. Stable in the market. Yeah. Perfect. It's gonna take a little bit longer. You would say usually, well, at the very least, he's got a stronger economy, right? By going up a little bit later. Well, but the Bengalis get the extra villagers, so that kind of evens out. Castle Age is already halfway through for Dark. And this is madness! Same worker count, just the one less villager right now. He's going up so much faster, and Nili is going up on one extra villager, but a minute behind Mr. Dark. So this is the thing that I was talking about for Bengali. It's a very strong economy, right? Just from the extra villagers. Eventually in the late game as well, he's gonna have the option to go for Mahayana. It's good for Nili. Oh, I was wrong! I was missing one tile! He actually cannot see the goal. I thought he was gonna be able to. Rip. Oh boy, Nili! He cannot see the gold. He's missing... Yeah, he's missing one tile. What does Turks play versus Elephant Archers? Yeah, a good mass of Elephant Archers is probably gonna be unstoppable, so you're probably gonna want to stop them from going there. And that's gonna be camels, yes, I agree. That's gonna be camels. You cannot go Sipahi cavalry archers against the Elephant Archers. The elephants are going to be more pop efficient. So you gotta go for camels. You could try to make a play for monks as well while the numbers are low, but the key here is not letting them mass up. But interestingly enough though, Dark's going for double monastery. Alright. I was not expecting this at all. Nili's getting to the castle age right now. He's got a bunch of villagers available to go for a TC. There we are, next to the stone, so he might end up switching to the stone afterwards. Yeah. And the 30C is on the way for Dark right now. Now, as Nili gets to the castle age, though, he does finally get enough vision to spot the gold over here. He's not spotted the stone yet. He would only be able to spot this one tile, but that'd be enough if he ever wanted to push with the castle. And yeah, monks can work, but the key there is preventing the mass of elephant archers. Once you get to a good amount, those are pretty much unstoppable. We know the Turks, they do not get elite skirmishers, of course, they do not get pikemen. Even. Yeah, Nili's done a good job here. Getting some decent scouting. Unfortunately, it's not been enough to spot this, but having spotted both of these already, that's gonna be enough for him to have a fairly decent position with a castle if he goes for one in the future. He's not made a transition, by the way. He's just going for extra lumberjacks. 4 siege workshops, nice to see. So it is going to be aggression from Nili. It's just not going to be the all-out aggression I was expecting, which would probably have been the play against the Cumans. But against Bengalis, the strategy has been adjusted by Nili. Still aggressive, but not all in. Turks don't get block printing, so monks won't work. Yeah, in the late game they're not going to work. That's something you would only be able to make use in the castle age and before the elephants get too numerous in the extra range. I reckon. Second melee on the way. The monk goes down right away, yes sir. These are like cavalry already. The Turks get them for free. Dark. Let's get yet another monk over here. There we are. If it weren't because of the extra armor, those monks would go down extremely quickly. And here comes Nili charging ahead with all the scouts in the mangonels. Cannot really get past the goal, but it might actually be enough. All he's got to do really is keep Dark out of goal, right? However, Dark does have access to extra resources on the right hand side, but this is something that Nili already is aware of as well. So I reckon here he's gonna try and get this TC down. Once he does that, he should be focusing on the next TC to the south. The only thing providing Nili with protection right now for his extra gold. Oh, but Nili's gonna try and get the TC up in the north. I'm not too sure about this. I do know this is just so that he can maneuver, so that he's got space to move the mountains around, which he wouldn't really have if he was in between the monastery and the gold over there. But he does have to try and take the TC down in the south though. Yeah. He's already pushed the villagers away from this goal. Like, that's done already. Damage done. It's gotta continue moving around. This is on the way now for Nili as well. Dark's going for the 4th TC to protect yet another goal. It's gonna sustain Dark's economy for a while, and Nili fortunately hasn't really managed to get too much damage done over here. Yes, he's pushed the villagers away from this gold, but no, it's not been too impactful as Dark's been able to move those villagers right into the extra golds pretty much instantly. And the thing is that Nili is actually aware of this. He saw the TC go up next to this gold. He should be expecting Dark to be collecting gold from here at the very least. He should be suspecting that Dark could very well be collecting from here as well, or at the very least could have that position protected. So yeah, that's a lot of potential for aggression over here. Oh, I gotta pause. It's a lot of potential for aggression over here, but Nili does not seem to be focusing on the right area. Back home, he's still on 3 TCs, but he added those significantly later compared to Dark, from going out to the castle age later, from just adding the extra TCs on a much later point in time. And Dark has thus already managed to amass a 13 villager lead over Nili. Military count, higher for Nili. Aggression not quite there.
Yes.
There we are. He's collecting some stone right now. Interestingly enough, he's got a bunch of villagers there, but he does not really have a whole lot of stone here. I think he's just recently sent the villagers, right? Let me check. Yeah. He started sending the villagers over to the stone fairly recently, but it's 9 villagers, so that's not gonna take too long for him to collect enough to get a castle up. And I imagine the castle position for him would be somewhere close to these 2 golds, but unfortunately, because of this forest, there is no way for Nili to place a castle that's going to deny both these golds. However, he's got to be careful over here. Now he's paying attention. If he keeps the mangonels around this position, he should be able to use them to deny this gold, and then with a castle he could potentially deny this gold. Because this is already exposed, he might be able to prevent Dark from accessing gold full stop. Of course, Dark is relying pretty heavily on that gold for his monk push, or his monk defense currently, soon to become a monk push, most likely. And Nili doesn't really have too many light cavalry over here though. He's trying to go for more. He's going for extra monks as well. And we see the conversions coming up over here as Nili is going to realize about the insane amount of monks from Dark. He's bringing the light cavalry, but that's not gonna be enough. You gotta keep in mind the armor for Dark students with the magnet shots. The magnet shots! And he's trying to go for it. The pow! He gets a bunch of the monks down, and now the conversions might actually not be enough, but will they be? They will be enough. As the conversions and the pikemen end up taking the majority of the light cavalry. We see 2 of the magnets going down and 1 converted. Nili's aggression over there was just not enough, and Dark's defense was really good, and the pikeman over there was absolutely fantastic. There's the quick walls coming up as he's trying to get a defensive castle up over here, and that's the position where Nili would have wanted to get his own castle up. Fortunately, he did not make the transition to stone early enough. Wasn't able to mass enough stone in the first place, and Dark's gonna be safe and sound here. He's already managed to defend himself successfully towards the south. Everything's looking up for the Russian player. Mr. Nili, he's going up to the Imperial Age though, and Dark's not too far off. Should be able to click up right away. He's got the resources, he's got the buildings, he's going up. There we go. Oh, and he's been converting everything. That's no longer your siege workshop, mister. That's not the Hippo workshop anymore. And Nili's getting the castle up over here, but it's been a struggle for the red players so far. You take a look at population and it's significantly higher for Dark. The uptime is not that much better for Nili. We have a delta of only 22 seconds here for the red player. What do you do with 22 seconds? You queue a trebuchet up earlier, yes. But you're not gonna get that one forward in time to start sieging the castle of your opponent down before they're able to get their own defensive trebuchets up. So it's looking rough. It's looking rough, not gonna lie. No matter how you slice it, Nili's cake does not seem to be quite as good. Stable on the way now, so we're gonna see a switch to camels. And Dark, well, Dark's gonna go for something other than monks. He's already lost a good bunch of those. He still has 10, yes, but in the Imperial Age, 10 monks are not gonna be that difficult to counter with a strong economy and free Hussar. For Nili, monks are going to be a risky unit choice unless he starts going. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's a lot better, right? The elephant archers we were talking about earlier will make an appearance finally. And yeah, the only way that monks would really have worked, if you wanted to go for monks as your primary unit, right, not as a supplementary unit like he's going for right now, would have been with an insane amount of pikes, which he was not going to invest into. Instead, we have the elephant archer, once again the most pop efficient unit for Dark in this position. And Nili, free chemistry, he goes for the bombard cannon right away. It's got the trebuchet. Yeah, it's gonna be Dark now doing the pushing. Input for military. That has since gone up to 11, but yeah, it's not looking that promising for the red player, especially if you take a look at the overall population. This is just a massive difference. A much stronger economy for Dark. With freaking 42 extra workers. And Nili? Well, Nili's going now for artillery, which is fine. It's gonna have extra range. It's got 2 bombard cannons though. And artillery is just going to give the bombard cannons 1 extra range compared to the monks. So it's not
Nili
like
energy, Nili energy, Nili energy.
There we go.
Nili energy, Nili energy.
Awesome. Awesome to see the support for Nili here. Pretty sure he's gonna appreciate it when he gets to see it, of course. Welcome, welcome. There we go. And the conversions are not going to connect all of them, but still have a good amount of Hazars over here. Converted over to Dark's Kingdom. Yeah. Now it's gonna try going after the bombard cannons once again. So that's the thing, right? If you're unable to get these down right away, you cannot really make use of the bombard cannons. And he tried to get rid of the monks, but it was just not successful. We still have 6 over here for Dark. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Dark's making 100% sure he's gone for Stonewalls here. That Nili's not coming through anytime soon. Oh! Wait a moment, though. Wait a moment. What is this? No, he just took the TC down. I thought for a moment over there that he might try to actually cut through. But that might have been worse for Nili, actually. As the military count's higher for Dark, is it gonna be significantly stronger as well? Yeah, that would not have been particularly great anyway. It's like you cut through and you just let your enemy in. You don't have nothing to send in yourself. Yeah, and Dark just going to reset. He needs to go for Mahayana though. He's not gone for it just yet. You can see 161 workers, 20 military, 181 population. He's not researched it. Yeah, there we go. Mahayana is on the way now, finally. This is gonna give him a little bit of extra population space, which he needs. It's true that the Elephant Archer is the more pop-efficient unit available to him, but if he does not have a whole lot of population space to actually saturate with these units, then what good are they? So he's trying to solve that now. He's got 9 extra space, and the moment he finishes researching this, that's gonna go out to 25, I think. Yep, 25 space left for him to get extra Elephant Archers. That could bring the count up all the way to 43. Yes, sir. What am I talking about? 43. We have Siege Elephant on the way now as well. Love to see it. And these are elite Elephant Archers already. We already have Bracer as well. We have Chemistry. He's missing Ballistics though, so these are not quite fully upgraded. And it's gonna try to defend against these as if they were skirmishers with full bombard cannons and Hussar. The Hussar obviously not for the Elephant Archers, they're for the monks. But I don't think it's gonna be enough though. And we are getting there. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot let the Bengalis get to this mass, but we saw Nili try. We saw him try to go for it and be aggressive. It was just the aggression was not good enough. It was not focused on the right areas. And now, well, now we have close to 30 freaking elite Elephant Archers. And I mean, take a look at this. They are fighting melee against the Hussar. They don't give a crap. Yep. And now, with the Siege Elephant coming forward, Dark's army is borderline unstoppable. Population significantly higher still for Dark. You gotta keep in mind that population counter up over here is not 100% accurate because he does have Mahayana. So, in actuality, he does already have like 200 population. Nili's on 150. That's a 33% lead for Dark. Not something Mr. Nili is gonna be able to come back from, I reckon. With the Elephant Archers over here pretty much tanking everything. Like they're tanking the Hussar, they're tanking the castles. It's looking rough. Both castles go down and Nili's going to call it GG when he finishes, when he loses these bombard cannons. That's the thing that's keeping him alive, so to say, for the time being. And Dark's gotta go for more castles, man. He's got 2,400 resources, 2,400 stone. Just go for extra castles, man. His production right now is the one thing that's kind of bottlenecking him. He's got 3 castles to produce Elephant Archers from. He's got 10 queued up. Yep. And there we go. Here comes the Siege Elephant, the Elephant Archers. He's taking some losses over here. He's managing to survive for the time being, but nothing. He throws a Dark sticks as everything just lights through. It's completely mowed by the elephant archers, Dark has been gaining ground more and more. Yeah, have the army's bombard cannon. His army is not like too numerous. Oh, this is beautiful from Dark. But yeah, I'm wondering if he would be already taking this game if he had gone for like 2 additional castles. Oh, halberdier switch. What is the gold situation for Dark? That makes sense. I think he's anticipating to run out of gold, so he cannot keep on going for the elephants anymore. Alright, alright. So it wasn't production in the end, it was resources that was bottlenecking him. Oh, there we go. And the game is over as Nili calls the GG. Dark takes game number 1. The only way for Nili to take the series over here is going to be winning games 2 and 3 back to back. So, let's check the achievements really quickly. What do we get? We're going to have a stronger KD for Dark. Close to 4-3. He needed to have this. His army was very expensive. Very much so. And the economy, on the other hand, is going to show us a much larger amount of resources collected. For Mr. Dark, yes, society, we have a higher villager max count for Dark as well. And that's going to be about it. Let's go back and just wait for the next game. Let's also cross the civilizations and the map out. So, for the civs, we had Bengalis. Yeah. And this might have been the plan all along for Dark. Threaten Cumans, go for Bengalis, play for economy into elephant archers, and the Turks have nothing to do against that. At the very least, the thing that they might have been able to get away with, full aggression, wasn't really pursued by Nili. He went for kind of half-committed aggression, maybe not pressuring the right area, so Dark had a, oh, I would dare say a pretty straightforward game over there. For match number 2 though, for game number 2 rather, we're gonna have either migration or graveyards, with migration being Nili's home map. Okay, it doesn't really matter that much, right? They're gonna have to play both anyway. But let's cross this as a loss for Mr. Nili. Alright. Okay, this is driving me crazy. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can fix the Roman thing. Alright. 1 second. Romans. So first off, I'm just going to make sure that this is working. It's going to be replaced by a Jaguar. Huh. No? Okay. That's unexpected. Doesn't seem to be working. Well, anyway. All right. I think I know what the issue is. Yeah. I know what the issue is. 1 second. It should be replaced by a Jaguar now. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna try and change that for a Centurion. I don't know if the graphic actually exists. But the second game is going to begin shortly, guys. Don't worry. This is probably something for me to fix off stream. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if there is such a Centurion picture. Nope. There is no Centurion picture, so I'm just going to remove this. Back to normal. The game's there, the game's there. Let's go for it. This one's gonna take place on migration. And we have Japanese versus Portuguese. Yeah, probably the matchup you're expecting to see. There we go. Welcome everyone then to game number 2 so far. Darks managed to pull ahead. There we are. We fixed the colors. 1-0 against Nili. Game number 2 is taking place on migration. Dark is up in the north playing with Japanese. Nili is down the south playing with the Portuguese. Hey mainframe. Hi. Welcome. We have Japanese versus Portuguese, so let's take a look at the map over here first. Well, we do not really have to. This is not really going to be super relevant. Instead, we can take a look at the center. Because this is obviously procedurally generated. But it seems to be like pretty balanced though. Resources are pretty well distributed. Like we have 2 goals close to the shoreline, close to Nili's starting island. We have 1, 2 stones over there. You're gonna see something similar as well for Dark. Okay, so Dark's got 1 stone close to the shoreline that faces his starting island. But then he's got 1, 2 golds, 3, right? With this one. Yeah, and Nili seems to have like 3 stones instead and 2 golds. It's gonna be the other way around over here. We have 3 golds, but only 1 stone though, so technically, it might be a little bit better for Nili to lay out the resources over here on the neutral island. And then on the starting island, it doesn't really matter. If you end up losing water presence at all, like you cannot get out of your starting island, then it doesn't matter if you have the stone in the back or forward. It's going to run out and you're not going to be able to do anything. Most likely the wood's going to be depleted first. Hey, it's Solararo. Hard to find a flat place on the wood for Nili though. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yes, that is a great point. I guess it would probably have to be somewhere around here for Nili, right? Maybe around this area, perhaps over here. Otherwise, yeah, if you wanted to go elsewhere, it would have to be maybe here or here, right? Yeah, this is going to be the best spot. Unfortunately though, it kind of leaves the lumberjacks exposed. I guess you could try and do this, perhaps. Yeah, that could potentially work as well. How about Dark? It's... Okay, so this spot's better for him. It's like a TC here. Would be fantastic. Additionally, he's got the option to go for 1 over here. Or potentially, maybe 1 over here. Yeah, but that's not great though, because it leaves some resources exposed. Over here, on the other hand, it's fantastic because you protect the lumberjacks and the goal. Like, you can place the TC flush to the goal, right? And this allows you to protect your villagers much more effectively. Yeah, anyway, we're probably getting a little bit too far ahead. Silver Arrow, if you want to get the draft information, you can do hashtag draft, I believe. The spectator dashboard has a command for that. if I'm not mistaken anyway. Regardless though, Fuel Age is already here for Nili. He's gonna be the first one to start getting some navy out. For the Portuguese, of course, they will have extra HP on these units. So it's gonna be 10% extra HP on these units. It's gonna pay 20% less gold. I think that's still the case, right? I don't want to spew nonsense here. 1 second. Yeah. So 20% discount on gold still. Fortunately for my casting over here, that wasn't changed in the last few patches. That's great. Dark. Starts to go into some fire galleys. And you know, the Japanese fishing ships, they are strong. They have extra armor. They take significantly longer to go down. But these are not going to be twice the HP, of course. These are not going to be immortal. And when fighting against Japanese fishing ships, standard galleys is the way to go. So much better compared to fire galleys. They will still deal pretty much full damage. Or close to it. And Castle is on the way for Dark, Nili. Not even close, not even close. Oh boy, he's got 5 galleys. The only way Nili is able to prevent Dark from getting to the center over here is he cleans this up. His unit control is good, but he cleans this up. And then he tries to take the docks down before Dark gets a chance of going for War Galley. Yeah, no fletching was kind of hurting. Now he's got it, but he was not dealing anywhere near as much damage as he should have. Oh, a villager goes down though. I think these might not have loom, indeed. So this could be some good damage. But once again, Nili's gotta dominate the water to prevent Dark from going to the center. Dark gets as much as a... Yeah, there we go. A single transport ship. Already, he's able to transport the villagers over. He doesn't need to wait for the castle age for this. And that's enough, right? Once he gets to the castle age, we're gonna see a TC come up very soon. He's... Okay, never mind. He's gonna go for what? Lumber camp? He doesn't have the resources to go for the TC. Oh, is he going for outpost fort? What is he gonna try and do? He's got the scout already. He doesn't need an outpost. I guess he's just gonna try to go forward, right? Well, this is something we saw before as well. Going for a forward dock and putting pressure on your opponent on the other side of the neutral island is something that we have seen in the past, but not something that Dark's gonna try to go for right now. Instead, he's going for a stable. He's just gonna try and... It's a barracks, actually, not a stable. I don't think he had a barracks before. Yeah, so he's gotta go for the barracks. Yeah, and he's going to dominate the center island. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. That's so sweet from you. Yep, we have the War Galley upgrade right now, and Nili's galleys do not stand a chance against fire ships. He spots the villager though at the center. Yeah, you see, he is aware of the fact that Dark could very well end up going for a forward dock. Let's go back to 1x over here, make sure we don't spoil the end. Yeah, but he's actually just going away the moment the Dark actually does end up dropping the dock over there. What are the chances? Okay, Nili is going back. It might be too late. Fire ship already on the way. Nili is still a minute away from the castle age, so Dark's gonna have stronger units out. Loom's already here, so the villagers are not quite as vulnerable anymore. Yeah, nothing seems to be going Nili's way, right? Ever since Dark was able to get away with fast castle, the fire ships over here have proven significantly stronger than Nili was probably expecting Dark's navy to be. Yeah, and check this out. We have a good amount of galleys over here. But the fire ships, they are just so strong, man. They're going to push everything back. Now we have fire galleys here. The numbers are certainly favoring Nili. The stats are favoring Dark. But Nili seems like he's gonna be able to take these units down. Even if it does come at the cost of a few of his own units, it's probably gonna be worth it. Simply to try and prevent Dark from getting to too high numbers, and he does end up cleaning this up. In the end, his army is gonna be left on less than 50% HP. Oh, but Nili is the first one to go for an extra TC. Alright, so the plot thickens. There's a monastery on the way as Nili spots the relic. And he's gonna be the first player with a second TC, so it's not over for the Hippo. It's been bumpy so far. It's been kind of a rocky trail for him. But he's managed to stabilize now. He's gotta be sure not to clump the units together too much. He's aware of it. He's doing what he has to prevent a big demo shot from ending this push. And if he's able to take these two down, that's already going to be hundreds of resources down the drain for Dark. And the demo shot though, bang! That's a good one. Does not take any units down, but does end up taking a lot of damage, and that's a great one. I think it might have been a little bit better if he was able to get a few extra units down, because he did chunk a lot of HP off this army, this navy from Nili, but he only took 2 units down, so the effectiveness of the demos is maybe not quite as high, but Nili's kind of losing grip of his own army over here. These are extremely clumped together, and that's what happens when that is the case. As Dark gets another huge bang right there. More units going down from Nili, but he still maintains the military lead. There's a lot to manage over here, so you cannot really blame Nili for struggling to keep up with everything. There is a fight over here that we are paying attention to down the south, but then there is another fight on the left-hand side that seems to be going in favor of Dark. And then we have monks over here as well. It's a little bit too much to handle, and Nili's struggling. One thing he's managed to do really well though is keeping the TCs active for the most part. Sure, he's got close to 2 minutes of idle TC time, but this TC has been up for a lot longer than 2 minutes, and he's already been able to kind of close the gap in worker count. There's only 1 worker behind Dark. Oh, the shot! Takes the scout down. What is that, a villager? Yeah, a woman. Takes a villager, a scout. I think a fire ship might have gone down over there as well, and Dark will. It does not really have much of a lead anymore. 1 extra worker, 4 extra military units. It's not bad. It's not bad, and the economy from the Portuguese though, it's so good. How many fishing ships? So Dark's got 11 fishing ships. That's good, because they work faster for the Japanese. So these might actually effectively represent a stronger economy than having 5 extra villagers instead of 5 extra fishing ships for Dark. But Nili's economy now is going to start kicking in. As Dark finally goes for the second TC, Nili's able to surpass the bull player in worker count. He's able to stay ahead in military count, and all of a sudden the Hippo's looking right at home here in the water. And that should be the case. Fire ships go down, but Nili's gonna have a few more over here because it's got a higher production capacity compared to Dark. Yeah, he's looking good. 1 win for Nili would already be awesome. Yes, yes. If he can get 1 win in every set, he should. I'm not really sure the math checks out, but I think he's pretty much guaranteed 4th spot at the very least, right? Oh, bang! Huge shot once again. Nili stays on top though, but he's been taking a lot of damage from those demos. And you gotta appreciate the extra HP of the Portuguese over here, otherwise I'm pretty sure that would have been much harder to fathom. Beautiful. And he's collecting the second relic over here. So you're definitely correct. If Nili is able to get 1 game in each series, his chances I think are pretty high of finishing 4th. I'm not really sure, or higher, right? If you do 1 every game, every series at least. And that was actually the strategy of I believe it was Draken before. I think it was Draken in the previous season. That was the strategy for him, right? Because he was kind of hoping to get arena every time, and that was the strategy for him to kind of remain. But I think it was in the Platinum League actually, not the Gold League. I don't quite remember if it worked though. I think it might have not. But Nili is looking in great shape to take game number 2 at the very least. And then if this goes his way, well, regardless of who ends up taking this game, game number 3 is going to take place on Graveyards, where I think Dark's probably going to be the favorite. So Nili really needs to try and seal the deal over here as well as he can. Draken is still in Platinum League. Okay, so it worked. I couldn't recall if that was indeed the case, but it worked. Proved to be a solid strategy. Meanwhile, Nili's dropping a forward castle. Which is looking great. Yeah, and that TC is a gunner. Well, what does Dark have left though? He's going up to the Imperial Age. Imperial Age into what? Nil is going out to the Imperial Age as well. It's gonna have twice a villager production after this TC goes down. Actually, effective immediately because he's not producing from the TC, given it's already on fire and about to go down. There we go. Yeah, and there's a third TC on the way for Nili. So the economy is gonna be stronger for the Hippo. It's the first player with a castle. Dark should have enough to go for a castle of his own very soon. But if he doesn't get it up before the Imperial Age this year, then Nili is gonna be the only player with access to trebuchets at the very beginning anyway. And if Nili spots the castle coming up from Dark in some place, he should be going for the trebuchets. I love that he's going for outposts. That's exactly what I was checking for, vision. And he's got more as well on the way. Yes, sir. Notice. He's gonna have full vision of the island. Which means Dark's not gonna have a safe spot to drop a castle unnoticed, right? So long as he's paying attention to the minimap and his vision is good, then he'll be able to spot Dark, potentially stop him dead. Yeah, there we go. Conversion is coming up, and it does connect. The monk goes down. But these villagers, yeah, they cannot do much of anything though. The magnet's going down. The villagers will be exposed to the organ guns. The snake coming over to aid his teammate, the organ guns. And the castle's on the way up in the north. So let's take a look to see if Nili can see it. Nili can see it. Yes, sir. He's got a second castle on the way. Now he's getting to the Imperial Age. And what does he do? Trebuchet right away. That's the way to go. By the time Dark manages to get the castle up, Nili's going to have the first trebuchet out. He's going to have his own second castle up. And he's going to have double the trebuchet production compared to Dark. And without some access point to the center island, Dark cannot win this game. He simply can't. Look at this, at his starting resources. How much gold do we have left here? He's got 1200 gold. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. He can resort to selling some of the stone afterwards, but it's not like he's got too much stone to do that. Anyway, only 1400. So we're looking at an effective max count of maybe 2500 to 3000 gold Dark's going to have at his disposal if he's unable to get control of the center, right? Or at the very least access some resource in the center. Nili should be aware of this already. Yeah, and Dark's just bringing extra villagers. But this shouldn't work, right? Wait a moment, what? The Urgas got converted. Holy smokes though, he's coming for a TC. There is no way. Is this a comeback from Dark? He's got a castle coming up on the left-hand side, and Nili's taking so long to send anything over to the left-hand side. I don't know if Nili's got vision of this, actually. Yeah, he does. Oh, duh. Spearman's over there. Yeah, Nili, 100%. He should have this game so long as he doesn't gather enough strength to throw it. It's a pretty heavy game to throw. I don't know if Nili's that strong. But yeah, Dark certainly shedding some way off the boulder of the game. Going for the second TC. Getting the castle up on the left-hand side. Oh, Pizzeria is on the way for Nili. Alright, alright. Heavy demolition ship? Oh, okay. He doesn't really have any water presence anymore. I don't think he needs this though. I don't think he needs this. How much gold do we have left? 3,200? It's too far away from the shoreline for it to be kind of denied by boats. Yeah, the only thing that Nili would really want to avoid here is potentially a landing, but I think there's so much going on at the center of the map that that's a very unrealistic scenario. Yeah, okay, there we go, there we go. I like to see this from Nili. He's focusing his power all in a single area, so now that castle is under siege by 4 trebuchets, and it should not stay up at all. We simply do not have enough manpower to keep the castle up here. There's not... Yep, and Dark doesn't really have the resources to keep on repairing, but even if he did, he doesn't have enough villagers to keep the castle up against 4 trebs. He's gonna need 28. He's got only 12. So the castle's going down, yes. Nili's regaining control of the left-hand side. This was an extremely important area for Dark. Without access to this gold, it's pretty much dead, as he's about to run out of gold back home. Yeah, there you go. And then on the right-hand side, okay, so he's got access to some gold over here, but not too many gold miners. And Nili's already aware of this. So after he cleans Dark up on the left-hand side, he's gonna switch focus over to cleaning up the right-hand side. And he should be fine. Guys, the population over here is looking much higher for Nili. It's artificial because of the Feiturias, but this game should be like 90%. Oh, ho, ho, Nili's going for it. He's making a pan for the villagers. And Dark's not reacting over here at all. This is still not solid, so he could walk out. Not anymore. Not anymore. This villager could potentially go down, but it doesn't really matter. A little bit of fantasy play over here from the hippo. And the castle on the right-hand side should prevent Dark from expanding further from this area. Yeah, and yeah, once again, the game is like 90% already in the bag for Nili. Oh, landing on Nili's base? Oh, you're right. Yes. So he converted some organ guns. And he transported those. A knight. Yeah, I was not expecting this to be the case at all. But unless we have like a trebuchet and some siege over here, it shouldn't be strong enough, right? Like Nili can just garrison and he should be able to take care of all this. Yeah, monastery. It's interesting to see. The thing over here though is Nili already has 2 TCs at the center. Let's assume the worst possible scenario for Nili over here and all these villagers get cleaned up. 37 villagers. He can just go for like 2 additional Feiturias. He's got the resources. He can go for 2 additional Feiturias at the center. And just give up this island. Like there's nothing over here. What can Dark get from here? 700 gold? What is that going to do towards getting the center island back, right? So I would say even with the landing over there, this is 95% in the bag for Nili. He's just gotta zip it up. This is a zip bag. There we go. He zips the bag. And Dark calls a GG. So Nili effectively manages to get the game over here. This is pretty much in line with what we were predicting for the series to be like. It's going to be 2-1 in favor of one of these players. I think the chances are pretty good for Dark. I think the next most likely scenario is 2-1 in favor of Nili. Of course, those are the only two scenarios right now. But at the beginning of the series, we were discussing this, and I was saying that a 2-1 for either player was going to be more likely than a 3-0. So it's going to be the case, and Nili has already managed to get a point. So this is good. This is good. He needs to aim for the very least one game every series. Military, better KD for Dark. It's gonna be better than 4-3. And desertions to losses, and Nili is not quite caught up to Dark yet, but if you take a look at the economy, this tells you the other part of the story, of course. We Nili collecting about 7,000 extra resources, 7,073 extra resources compared to Dark. In the end, the KD was not quite as relevant when Nili had just so much more to work with. And this was such a wild roller coaster of a game, though. I love it. I love it. In the Fuel Age, it seemed so rough, and then he was able to turn it around. I wonder if you're going to see something like that in game number 3. So let's go back and cross the civilizations and the map. So we saw the Japanese die for Dark. He won with Bengalis. Game number 1, we saw the Portuguese come out on top for Nili in game number 2, and then he lost with Turks in game number 1. So for game number 3, we have graveyards, and Malay, Malians, and Chinese are available to Nili. Romans, Cumans, and Magyars are available to Dark. So let's see if there's already a game. There's a lobby right now, so we have to wait a little bit. Predictions for game number 3? Dark can stretch it for 2 hours that game? You mean game number 2? Probably. He was so difficult to remove from the center. Anyway. Oh, let's cross the map. He converted a Fater. Yeah, I completely missed that. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Another win in his home map. It's a graveyard. Being Dark's home map. Should yield pretty good chances for him. By the way, for those of you curious, well, pretty much everything was banned, right? So the Coast to Mountain, the Wall, Fractal. Oh, Fractal! Love to see it. Do you guys remember Fractal from the RMS Cup? And Dorado was banned. Those were Dark bans, and Nili banned Socotra. He did not want to play that one. He banned Land Madness, Spiral. Ah, Spiral. Was that one from the RMS Cup too, as well? I do not quite recall though. Do you remember? Boy, I was a map judge for that tournament, and I can't recall if I think it was in the RMS Cup too. So Spiral, Fractal, 2 maps from the tournament making it into another tournament. That's what we set out to achieve with the RMS Cup. Reward the map scripters with a pretty, you know, substantial prize pool, and also expand the available maps for future tournaments. And Golden Pit. Alright, so Socotra, Land Madness, Spiral, Golden Pit, those were the bans from Nili. Regardless, only 30 seconds to wait for the third game to begin, for the last one to begin. And I'm going to leave it to you to try and guess the civilizations. You cannot peek. Alright, no peeking. But try to guess the civilizations. You have about 15 more seconds. I probably would not have expected this. Well, part of this. Alright. Game's loading. Let's go. Mali Magers. I would have expected, yeah, half of that. But it turns out it is going to be Romans versus Malians instead. Do you guys miss the game music, by the way, when I switch to the game? Because I can bring the playlist over to this scene as well and make it like super faint, perhaps. Anyway. Yes, Dark's on the left-hand side, Nili's on the right-hand side. Graveyard's gonna be the scene for game number 3. So let's take a look at the map generation for both these guys, starting with Mr. Dark. So what do we get? I generally prefer no music and cast anyhow. Yeah, that's good. That's why I chose not to have the playlist over here. But I just noticed it was kind of an abrupt transition. But yeah, I'm not sure, because if you want to play music or if you want to listen to music, you can probably just do it on your own, right? And then you can choose whatever you want to listen to. Anyway, let's take a look at the map generation. So what do we have for Mr. Dark? Okay, there we go. We have one goal forward. We have another goal towards the south over here. None of these is particularly safe. Then all the stones going to be just too far away towards the left-hand side. We have stone about like 12 tiles away from the TC. We have stone close to the side of the map over here on the mountains as well, the ridge. And then we have extra gold. This is just pretty standard, yeah, graveyards, right? But there doesn't seem to be too much that is too safe for him to collect. And up in the north, there is nothing. One thing that he does have is the safe woodline over here, I guess. But yeah, it's a very open map. Something very different from Arabia as well is that the woods over here are not quite as chunky. They're not quite as thick, so it's significantly harder to get the walls up. We take a look at the map generation for Nili, and he's got one goal forward. The other goal is kind of on the back though, a little bit. Down the south, we see one stone. Up in the northwest, we see another stone over here. I'm liking Nili's map generation a little bit better though, for sure. He's got like 1, 2 wood lines on the back. Then he's got this goal, which is too far away, yes, but it's also kind of behind. If you draw a straight line between both TCs, this one is kind of on the back. And stone over here as well, and then he's got like much closer resources. If you compare especially the stones to the generation for Dark, it seems like Nili's probably got the better generation over here in my opinion. What is this tool? This is called PP Inc. It's an open source annotation program that I absolutely love. I've been using it for a couple of years already. Yeah, and anyone can use it if you want to do annotations as well. It's awesome. Anyway. It's going forward already. I think he's been pushing deer, right? Yeah. Left hand side. Yep. Ditto. For Dark as well. What is his vision like? Nope. He's gonna continue pushing deer. And Nili, I don't think he... Oh, he prioritized deer a little bit earlier, right? Yeah, I think he might have pushed as many as Dark, but he was still free to go forward and get some scouting done a little bit earlier compared to the bull player. Now the field age is on the way for both these guys.
Ready.
Very nice tool. It is. If you go to my channel, you do exclamation mark annotations, you'll get a link to download it. There we go. Barracks on the way for Nili and Dark. Dark's going for the barracks only now, so it's gonna be a scout push for the Romans. Nili is gonna go for a scout push himself as well. Just gonna be full mobility for both these players, given how far away they are, how open the map is. It does make sense. But I do remember, though, one of the games from the Champions Invitational that featured Roman men-at-arms, actually, in an open land map as well. That was very interesting to see. I'm always looking forward to that, because the militia line is still so neglected, even after the infantry focus patch, right? But anyway, archer range is on the way now for Nili as well. Nili goes archers. He assumes it's men-at-arms. Oh, you're right. You're right. It's not scouts. How blind of me. He does have villagers over here on the gold. Sorry. Yeah. You're 100% correct. He assumes men-at-arms. And Dark's going to make a play for scouts instead. Yeah. A little bit of a Nova blind moment over there. And the archers gonna start coming out. Oh boy. So Draken's been here all along. How much did you hear? We were talking about you like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago? I think it was you, right? Who had the strategy of like winning arena on every series to guarantee one map victory and remain in the league. Well, that's kind of what Nili needs to aim for over here. His opponents are formidable. If he can secure at the very least one game every series, his chances are much better, of course. Oh, that villager was not pleased at the scout. He just said ew. I just joined, but sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Here comes the archer, 2 spearmen just in case, and now he's got the tools to defend the archer against the scout, but not against villagers though, when the archer goes down right away, but that's still the first villager dead. From Dark to the spearman, the scout, the archer from Nili. The archer and the scout end up going down. Nili's going to remain here, keeping the spearman alive, keeping the vision around the berries. And he's sending more archers forward. With the spearman over here, might be able to get some good damage done. 2 archers. Should be enough. With 1 archer, he was able to get a villager down now. The spearman addition over here was absolutely instrumental. He might end up getting some more villagers down. He does have to roam around a little bit further though. Go around the wood over there, but he's still gonna be able to target the villagers anyway. It's just a matter of time. Dark's just delaying this a little bit, but as you can see, 1 villager, if Nili plays his cards right, could potentially block the villager, but that might be too attention intensive for him to do right now, especially with all the chaos around this area, with the villagers roaming around and the skirmishers finally coming out as well for Dark. It seems like we might see a villager go down. Yes, sir! And Nili, he gets the 2nd villager down. He does have 50 seconds of extra idle TC time though, but 1 more villager goes down and does put him 1 worker ahead compared to Dark. And while the bull player on the other hand, not being able to get any damage done with the scouts. You select all this, they were only able to get 1 military unit, no villagers. And up in the north, Nili is getting pushed away by the skirmishers. He's already been able to get some good damage done. It definitely would have been better if he was able to keep the TC working at all times. He would have a 3 villager lead already. This is gonna make a transition to scouts right now as well, and doesn't seem like we're gonna see the castle age come out for him. Doesn't seem like we're gonna see the castle age come out for Dark anytime soon, and this is shaping up to be a very interesting game so far. Just scout switch for Nili now and GG. That's what he's going for. He's got the blacksmith on the way now as well. And this is definitely not what I was expecting, especially given the opening units for both these guys. But the addition, I mean, seeing the archer range from Nili, but the addition of spearmen certainly made this a much more interesting feudal age. Good realization from Nili that one of the scouts was low HP as well. Not the best engagements. Yes, the scouts are taking a lot of damage as well, but many of the archers went down over here. for Nili. He's falling behind the score a little bit. Still has archers to work with though. You know, Dark should be paying attention over here because he just seeded the farm. Oh, the farm gets lame! And now the villager is probably going down. And there's another villager over here that Dark is only realizing about now. Ah, that one was so close to dying. And he wasn't able to get it. But now Dark's economy is also in shambles. He's had to make the transition now to farms, a much heavier transition to farms. These archers are just keeping the attention around Dark's base. Nili's been able to stabilize himself. He's got some walls up over here. He's partially closed himself up. And he still has a pretty well balanced economy overall. Has access to the stone, to the gold rather. To the food, to the woods, not under any pressure. He was the one exerting pressure on Dark. But now the game has stabilized. Dark is actually managing to pull ahead in work account. Not by virtue of doing something particularly well, compared to what is possible. He's kept the TC working, that's the one thing he's done. So it's been kind of Nili's pitfall over here that caused the villager discrepancy over here between both these players. Nili has over 2 minutes of idle TC time, 2.5 minutes. It seems like the game might have overwhelmed the red player a little bit. He did manage to get a good amount of archers though, so if he's able to get a few extra villagers over here, should be able to catch up once again. Here come the scouts. Oh! Don't toy with my heart like that, game, please. And here are the archers. Why are they not targeting the villagers though? Skirmishers were still some ways off. Oh boy. And no scouts for... Okay, there we go. Nili's going for a few extra scouts over here. So yeah, on paper, this should be good for the red player, right? But he's got to use the units. There we go, target the villagers. One villager's going down, yes. He's got a good amount of archers to be able to get a very good engagement over here. Scouts and archers versus scouts and skirmishers should be going in favor of the scouts and archer players. So we're going to see if the red player is going to have what it takes. So he does not take some of the scouts down over here. The skirmishers do perish in the end. It seems like Nili is gonna be left with a very small army in the end though, and that did not go in favor of the red player as heavily as I thought it was going to. Dark scene control over here was really good. I think Nili might have messed up over here though. I think he might have messed up over here. We're gonna go back to this point later and try to analyze the engagement over there. But it was not good. It was not good. I think he needed to target the scouts. The game stabilizes once again. Oh man, that was not the fight that Nili should have taken though. And now Dark. Well, Dark's staying ahead in work account. Nili has gone up almost 1 extra minute of idle TC time, 50 extra seconds compared to the last time we noticed. Yeah. I do not stream myself anymore. I do not stream myself anymore on my channel. No, I am doing mostly collabs, so stuff like this. For the time being, that's what time allows. But I'm pretty happy. Yeah. Now going out to 3:31 of idle TC time for Nili. It's been a big struggle for him to keep up with everything that's been taking place in this game. But he has been able to stay ahead in military though, quite a lot. Okay, so this is more like it. Nili's getting a fantastic engagement there. Now what he's got to do is make sure that he takes care of these archers so that he can keep the villagers away from gold for Dark. Prevent the blue player from turtling and going up to the castle age potentially. Then he could go around with the scouts and already access the farmers. But he's roaming around right now. I am not against this. I am not against, because of the archers, there is not much that Dark can do in order to protect this entry point. So if Nili had destroyed this, actually that would have been really good. I don't know why he did not commit to it anymore. Maybe he spotted this. Might have been the case. And that was a lot of exposed economy. Only one villager goes down, but Dark does have to shuffle villagers around. Never an ideal situation, even if you end up still ahead in worker count. This is a lot of idle villager time. Check the efficiency on these villagers. Check that out. Last minute, 24% efficiency. That's disgusting. Let's take a look at the worker efficiency in the last minute overall. Yeah, the worker efficiency overall is higher for Nili, so the villager count might have been better for the bull player, but Nili's been able to disrupt Dark's economy enough to compensate for that. In the end, though, the scouts come in for Dark, completely sweep Nili's army clean. Nili's second push is taking place down the south, might end up getting another villager over here, and it might not be the case. The Dark's gonna be with the comparable worker count anymore. Nili plays his cards right over here, might be able to get the villager down. But Dark's done a good job defending, though. Notice how he's able to save the weak villagers, and Nili's not really targeting the correct ones. That one was one doink away from going down. And every time I read GG in the chat, or I think GG myself, the game takes a turn. What is this? Market. Alright, Nili's gonna try and go up. Both these players have somewhat comparable amount of resources right now. Both of these players should be able to go up at a fairly comparable time as well. I do not think that Dark has a market, though. He doesn't. Oh, and once again, though, Nili spots the villagers exposed from Dark. He wasn't able to safeguard these. One villager goes down, and another one. For the first time in the last 10 minutes or so, Nili takes the lead. 2 additional workers compared to Dark. What is this game? My boy's gonna manage to bring the game back for the second time in the series? Wow. There we go. Scouts from Nili are getting cleaned up. Dark's military count is higher, yes. In the end, the market was not to go up to the castle. He ended up spending pretty much everything into army, and it's shaping out to be a full field age game. I think so, right? Yes. Dark was on 500 food. And he just get like 8 scouts, so it's going to be full feudal. We had 3 stables already for Dark. We have 2 stables only for Nili to produce from. This is gonna be an issue. Oh no, we do have 3 stables over here. It's just the economy is not quite as good. There we are. We have the same upgrades for both these guys already. Fully upgraded scouts. The defender's advantage is working in favor of Nili, especially with the spearmen over here. They are certainly making a huge impact on this engagement, as Dark was coming in with a stronger numbers, but the weaker composition, and in the end, the scouts get pushed back, and like nobody's taking really good fights here at all, right? Nili's KD was better before, now it's not quite as good. But you gotta keep in mind, he has also been losing spearmen against scouts, so it's not quite as bad over here as well. And now he's taking gold units down as well, so yeah, the KD's favoring Dark. But it's so close, and the spearmen have been getting so many scouts from Dark that I would say this is pretty much comparable. Dark Age is gonna be here for Dark though, yes. And Nili's getting a good lead in military, and the only way that he's able to continue this game though is getting a huge lead in scouts right now before Dark gets to the castle age. So Dark simply does not have the numbers to push back with light cavalry, and is able to raid the round, right? Because it's still very much open. Like, this is exposed, this is still exposed, and Nili's going right back to the wool line once again. A 6 worker lead that already represents a difference in worker count when one player goes out to the castle age and the other one doesn't. So from this point, it's going to be all profit for Nili. But once again, he does need the snowball over here. He cannot just have a few extra scouts. He needs to have a ton of extra units. So that by the time Dark gets light cavalry, Nili is not easily pushed back. This has been a really good raid though for Nili. Doesn't duck in all the lumberjacks. And Dark's economy is gonna be kind of fine, despite the pressure from Nili. And check this out, the Castle Age is here, so Nili recognizes he's gotta try and maximize the damage. And he does end up taking a bunch of extra villagers down, so now it's a 14 worker lead for Nili. But the numbers though, the numbers! They're not there. He's got more military units, but where are they? There's only 2 scouts over here, and Dark is gonna have light cavalry in 30 seconds. Second TC is coming out right now, just gonna make it so much harder for Nili to continue raiding as well. GG this time for real. For realsies. Yeah, knights are certainly going to be an issue for Nili. So notice how he's not really going for any extra units. Now he's just gonna focus on trying to go up to the castle age himself. So what has this given Nili? He's gotten enough time to close himself up with massive walls. He's completely walled off. He's gonna be completely walled off in just a few seconds. But the knights, yes, this is borderline necessary for Nili, because the knights, they're not going to care about palisades. Especially if you have several groups, right? He's got 10 knights, 11 knights. You just send 3 knights over to the south, 3 knights over here to the gate, 3 knights up in the north. And it is just not going to have the capacity to keep on repairing the palisades forever. The villagers are too far away, so he does have to go for these stone walls. Otherwise, the knights break in and it's pretty much game over. I mean, take a look at the military for Nili. 6 spearmen? Yeah, good luck. Really good reaction over here from Nili, mind you. Notice how he's going for extra stone walls. So this kind of offsets for the extra villager count the Nili's got, especially given the fact that Dark's second TC is going to allow him to close the gap very quickly, assuming that he's able to keep both TCs working, which he is. But yeah, sending so many villagers to wall, spending so much stone to wall, that's going to prevent Nili from getting the second TC up. It represents such a huge endeavor as well. So many villagers spending so much time and resources, right? Trying to close the walls over here. It's too messy. It's like what Nili was doing to Dark's economy, but on steroids. Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about, right? Just split your army up. Go and put pressure everywhere. That is the way to go. Nili has done a fantastic job keeping the walls up, but this has come at a cost, as we have discussed already. That's like 1, 2, 3 villagers, 4 villagers, 5, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 11 villagers he needed to divert just to keep the base safe. And he was able to do so, but now Dark's catching up. He's got 22 knights. Nili is gonna start going for his own knights as well. He goes for the pikeman upgrade, which he's going for. This is much better. Ideally, he wants to get a few conversions over here as well, because if he just tries to produce knights, he's gonna be playing catch up. The stable, Nili. The stable. Nili? Uh-oh, up in the north though, it's already open. And here comes the North Flood, and we don't have enough monks out to have even a single monk out. Making a switch to camels right now, but it seems like it's going to be futile. Nili is completely exposed. All the knights are just completely destroying Nili's economy, and the lead that he once had is now but a memory. As knights continue flowing towards the south, they are going to run into these vulnerable lumberjacks and stone miners. 28 villagers ripe for taking. And those are unprotected, but he doesn't even care about that. Yeah, GG's coming up, as Nili was unable to defend even villagers around the TC. Dark ends up taking the game over here and the series with the final score of 2-1. Dark's going to come out on top over here. Nili was able to take one game, which is good still. Remember, you take one game every series, you're still in a pretty decent shape. So this has been fantastic. Remember, from the players that were sharing Nili's group, Dark was one of the tougher ones. So getting even one game against Dark is actually like really good for Nili. And this bodes really well, because then by the time he's got to face like some of the other players, it's not going to be quite as tough on paper. Very close to 43 KD. GG's Nili, well played. Very close to 43 KD for Dark. It was great. In the end, he more than offset for the villager kills that Nili was able to pick during the fuel age or so. Economy stronger for Dark in the end, not by a little bit, by a lot. About 2,900 extra resources. For society, we see that Nili was the one with the highest villager max count, but it was fairly short-lived. You can see it over here. We draw a straight line at 50%, and there was a fairly short period of time where Nili was ahead. By the time the Knights broke in, Dark was able to get so much damage done. He offset for that, and from that point onwards, it was going to be downhill for Nili. So it was the right time to call the GG. Well played. Let's get back.